Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad you are here. If you are new here, please make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any new videos. Make sure you click the red subscribe button and you also click the notification bell. Hello, Boago. How are you?
Greetings, Doc. I'm well. Yourself?
I'm fantastic, and I'm so excited that you have come.
Same here.
So
I'm very excited to. Pardon?
You were saying?
I'm saying I'm also very excited to be meeting you in this platform today.
Awesome.
For me, it's an honor.
Thank you so much for honoring the invitation.
Yes, yes, Doc.
I know you and I have come from far.
Yes, yes. From way back.
Way back. I remember the other day when I posted the photo for the book, what you have is enough. And you put a comment there. Is it something you want to mention to our participants?
That's the book that made me. I was actually saying it earlier to my wife that, you know, this book, Director Mutoko is one that really made me to do what I'm doing now. So he's the person that the people can actually thank him for the work that I'm doing, because he's the one that really influenced me to be doing what I'm doing. I remember the date very well, on the 5th of December 2015. That's when the book was launched.
You remember the date of the launch of the book?
At the auditorium at UB.
Wow.
Yes, and I got my copy, and the following day, I couldn't put the book down. Actually, I read the book from cover to cover the following day, on the 6th of December.
Wow.
I remember after reading the book, my head was very heavy. My head was very heavy, and I took a walk, because by then I was staying for Gain.
Right.
I was staying for Gain back then. Yes, I took a walk around the area that I was staying in, because I was trying to really think, dude, what can you do? Because one, you have the skills. Secondly, you've been procrastinating to start what you want to do. But here the book says what we have is enough. So what are you waiting for? So what are you waiting for? And from there, from the 6th of December up until the 5th of July 2016, was the only thing that I was thinking about was to start. And 2016 July, on the 5th of July at 11 o'clock, that's when GreatAnt consultancy was launched. After 6 months of thinking about it, after influenced by the book written by Dr. Mutoko. Yes, so that's my background of how I started. Yes, the book was that springboard to make me to actually jump. Yes.
Wow, I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled indeed. You know, sometimes when you write a book, for some of us, I don't write books to make money. There's nothing wrong with making money. Obviously, you want to be compensated for the cost of production and stuff like that. But for me, when I write books, it's something that is heavy on me. It's like I need to deliver, you know, to share. It's like a woman who is pregnant. So I'm very glad that the book, What You Have Is Enough, actually did something to your life. And, you know, already there's something I've picked from you that I didn't know about.
Which is?
You look like somebody who has so much attention to detail, because you are mentioning on this date, and you even mentioned 5th of July at 11 o'clock, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Very few people can remember those details.
I'm still here, Doc.
Oh, good stuff.
Yes.
So I wanted to introduce to you some very special people in our midst.
Yes.
We have with us tonight Tinao Tlabano.
Yes.
We have with us Ruele Maseche. You will forgive me if I don't pronounce the names properly. We have with us Tsepiso Marumo and Tumelo Ranau.
Yes.
We want to appreciate you for participating in this particular interview. Thank you so much. I will kindly ask Tinao to mute the microphone. Thank you so much. Right, so perfect stuff. You know, having you here is very interesting. So somebody might want to know, so who is Boago Victor Ratshoswane? Uituri, there will be a young Boago who will watch this. And they are wondering, of course, yes, you have mentioned that the book was a springboard for you, but I'm sure there must be other things because people read books. And some people, I've seen some people who seem to have a sickness of reading books. They read, but they never take action. So who is Boago?
Yes, like you said, that you mentioned are my full names, Boago Victor Ratshoswane, from Muchudi. I'm born and bred in this village called Muchudi. I'm a husband to a very beautiful Toto.
So we are good neighbors. Nake Mukwena.
I don't know. From which quarter? That's good to know. Yes, I'm a husband to a very beautiful wife, Ratshoswane, and I'm a father to a very handsome boy called Wake. And I'll say I'm a very determined young man with who want to really live a life full of purpose and really to inspire other young people to really live that lives also purposefully and live a mark and destiny and live a mark and a legacy really to in the world. So that's basically who I am in a nutshell.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that your company kicked off after you read my book, What You Have Is Enough. Would you mind telling us the name of the company and probably some of the things that you have been able to do for Botswana? You know why I really wanted you on the show?
No, I don't know.
But there's a time when I hinted, I can't remember what happened. There's something that was posted by somebody in South Africa, and then I said, hey, Boago, we need to do something for Botswana.
Yes, I remember. Yes, I remember.
Puri, most people, particularly entrepreneurs, I'm passionate about empowering leaders and entrepreneurs. Because I believe that when we empower business leaders and we empower entrepreneurs, we will be able to create jobs. As we create jobs, we are alleviating poverty. And then we also boost economic development and increase the GDP of the country. That is what excites me. That's why I do all these interviews and the mentorships and all that, because I believe every one of us can play a role. Now, I needed someone who will talk to SMMEs about the issues of taxation. I have to be honest with you. You know, I'm a BICA member. I'm a junior accountant. I know most people don't know that. But I can assure you, it's one thing to know certain things, and it's another for you to practice something and become an expert. So knowing something about accounts that you studied one day and actually practicing are two different things. So I think we might actually have even accountants and, you know, people with masters, with different kinds of degrees and so on. But when it comes to issues of accounting, when it comes to issues of taxation, man, I know for you, you might even be thinking, is there anything new really I can tell people? But guess what? Just take us as standard one. We are your class tonight.
Yes. Like I said, I started my company in 2016 July. The company is called GreatAnt Consulting. But since then, we are trading as a name called Text 360. That's our trading name when we started. Because we are trying to offer a solution that we have found. We find a problem. So we're trying to provide a solution that really, like you said, Botswana in general, or just general population, don't really understand text. Yes. They know that there is text, but they don't understand the implications of text, one, and even their obligations as taxpayers, what they need to do as taxpayers. So then we found that as a niche that we can capitalize on and provide training, provide solutions, and to the general population and taxpayers in Botswana. So when I started the company, we had identified that one, the problem that we saw was that the tax administration might be of a challenge because you will find that during those times, every September, we see people queuing up at BURS trying to submit their forms. And there will be other sites, temporary sites around town, in malls, where people will be collecting forms. So we were like, but isn't there a better way that people could be doing this? And we find that some people will not want to queue up, and because they think there's something better to do than going to queue up the whole day. So they will not comply, not because they don't want to comply, but because of the those tax administration issues that are there. And then the other person will be really not knowing that they have to submit. So we found that those are the things that we really need to provide solutions to. And then that's how GreatAnt was backed. But my inspiration was also from, I worked as a tax advisor before at one of the local firms. That's where I really came in contact with taxation in 2014 when I joined one of the local firms. So there I was in charge of taxes. So I got to really experience and know a lot about taxes when I was working there. And like you said, even a lot of accountants, a lot of business leaders, a lot of entrepreneurs, they will know that they have to pay tax. They will know that there is taxation. But really, in terms of what are the obligations, what should they do? The nitty-gritties of taxes, they are clueless. So I found that they often there will be a lot of troubles, a lot of problems. They find themselves in penalties and interest, not because they don't want to submit or they don't want to comply, but because they don't know what to do. So that to us created an opportunity for us to educate Botswana, for us to provide that solution to the gap that we found. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Boago. The other day, I was watching a video of 15 billionaires that are now homeless. Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable that someone can actually have billions of US dollars. Mm-hmm. And then after some time, they lose everything. What I realized was that majority of those billionaires is either some of them lost money during the 2008 recession, others, it was the issue of tax. They were found to have been evading tax, and that got them into trouble. For others, obviously, it was other issues to do with, money laundering and stuff like that. And for others, it was a combination of both. And that touches my heart to say, ignorance is dangerous. Even the Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Many times we think people perish because of the devil, but that's not what the Bible says. Lack of knowledge is dangerous. Now, imagine somebody is around 60 years old and then they are found with a crime for not having been paying tax or not paying tax properly. And probably they have other issues. One of the former billionaires he was charged, I think, was it 110 years in prison, and the other one was 150 years in prison. I mean, it just means life in prison. So taxation is a serious matter. And I want you to explain to us and the audience to say, why is it important for people to file for tax? Maybe before you go there, what are the different kinds of tax that we have? Botswana. Most of my guests, when I'm talking to them, I want them to talk about Africa. But I think for you, most of it is going to be targeting our people, because you know taxation laws are not always the same. But I'm sure anybody from anywhere can benefit something from our discussion. Please feel free. The kinds of tax that are there, and then why is it important for us to pay tax and to file it?
There's one common code there's one common code which goes by, there are two things that are certain in life. The other one is death, and the other one is taxes.
Right.
So, like you are saying, taxes are unavoidable. When you are born, before you die, one way or the other, you will meet tax somewhere. And it's very important that as business leaders, as entrepreneurs, as Botswana, we really need to understand tax, because one way or the other, we are going to come across tax. So it's something that is very certain in life. Like you said, a lot of people find themselves in troubles, in problems, in imprisonment, in a lot of tax liabilities, not because, some they read deliberately, they want to evade tax. But some, you find that it's not because they wanted to, but because of lack of knowledge. And like you like to say, they will perish because of that. And the Bible will say, give Caesar what's due to Caesar. So you see, and then that tells you that really tax is unavoidable. Now what's left for us is really now to seek knowledge on this matter, because we can't avoid it. We can't avoid it. One of my close friends and mentor is there in the call. Now we work together. We are colleagues in this matter. We always sometimes when we chat with him, we will be like, dude, what people why don't people pay attention to this matter? And you find that a lot of people, tax is an afterthought. When I start business, the only thing that comes to my mind is I need market, I need capital to start, and I need to sell this product. I don't think about tax until now when I need tax clearance. Most people register for taxes because they want the tax clearance, not because they know their obligation as taxpayers or as residents in this jurisdiction of Botswana to pay tax. So they only register for tax because they want a tax clearance. So that's another bad mindset that we need to desist from. As a taxpayer, you need to know that I'm paying this money for what. You are paying with your money, so you need to really understand that I'm paying for my money for what. Like you said, why do you pay tax? One, taxes in any state that are paid to develop for development. They are ones that finance the public expenditure. You know, your roads, your infrastructure, your medicals, your everything, your health, education. Because in Botswana we rely mostly on diamonds, but you can't rely only on them. So you need to come up with other means to raise money for our expenses. So tax is one of them. And again, tax is used as what you call a fiscal policy tool. A fiscal tool, that is to say, the government uses it to influence behavior of the people that are the citizens and the residents in the country. For example, you know that there's what you call alcohol levy. Alcohol levy is tax meant to curb excessive drinking. So they'll put a bit of markup on a bit of tax over and above the normal charge or the normal price of beer, so that people can pay more to avoid them drinking excessively. That's one. And then part of the fiscal policies will be having VAT on certain products, on certain goods. You know that when you buy your sugar milk, there's no VAT on that. But when you buy your other processed food, there will be tax on that, because the government is trying to influence people to buy healthy food. So these are the things tax is meant to do all those things. And another thing, tax will be also used again to try and this Sepedu region. You know that Sepedu, the government lost a lot of people lost a lot of jobs because of the BCL closure. The government then said, okay, and if you do business in this region, I'm gonna cut 70% of your tax, of your corporate tax, and then you're gonna only pay 5% on your corporate tax. This is to say they're encouraging people to go and do business in that region. So the answer to your question, why tax, is that so some of the reasons why there's tax in any state is to try and meet those three things: the fiscal policy, and again to finance the expenditure of the government.
Beautiful. And then I'm thinking also of other things like infrastructure development in the country and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you also asked types of tax, which I didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
In Botswana, we have a lot of tax types. You have a lot of tax types, but the ones that I will mention here that I think will resonate mostly with people that are listening, the SMEs, will be corporate tax or income tax in businesses. And there will be your VAT, the one that I just gave an example of, and then we'll have your withholding taxes. Withholding taxes will be a sub type of income tax, because to explain further, when you're an employee, you are paid your salary, right? And then you pay your income tax on your income, on your salary, and then the tax on your salary will be called pay as you earn, whereby now they will give you, I mean, the employer will give you a certain amount, and the other portion they will take it on your behalf to the revenue authority. And then with businesses, withholding taxes on rental, whereby now you are a landlord and someone is occupying your property. Instead of them paying you the whole amount, they'll take a certain portion of that's due to you. They take it to be your rest, and that will form withholding tax on your income. They'll give you what you call ITW9 or ITW8, which will be in lieu of the money that they could have given to you. And then year end, when you compare your financials or you compare your returns, that money or that paper that they give you will form part of your return. They'll try to show you that a part of the amount that I should have paid is already with you. So I only pay a portion of the ones that I have to pay you. So those are the tax type that I think will raise much more to people that are listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, to somebody who thinks, what would you say to encourage people? I know obviously people talk of tax evasion, they talk about tax avoidance. Tax avoidance is okay, it's legal, but tax evasion is deadly. I've seen quite a number of people, even across Africa, who have been rich. You know, it's very painful to be rich and have everything, and you give your family a taste of a good life, and one day, BURS comes and repossesses everything.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yes.
I think sometimes business people run around doing other things and they forget this monster called taxation. And I think it's part of our responsibility as citizens and as residents of the country to make sure we pay tax.
Yes, I have this quote I have this quote which says, tax is what tithes are. Tax is to the government what tithes are to the church. So this is to say, it's really your responsibility as a taxpayer to know that I have to pay tax. You don't have to be pushed to do it. It should be from you, and you should truthfully declare what is due to Caesar and pay it as that. So, like you said, some people will be saying, "Oh no, I'm paying money to the government, but my money is not being used well." In this COVID-19, we found that a lot of people have been claiming what you call wage subsidy. A lot of companies have been claiming wage subsidy, and in fact, that some companies that are claiming wage subsidy have not been paying taxes. They've not been paying taxes, but that's the money that other people have been truthfully declaring as taxes to the government, and now, now that they're benefiting from something that they didn't put to contribute to us to. So, like you said, tax is each and everyone's responsibility to truthfully declare to the government that this is your due. I've made this much, and this is your due. Like even at churches, you know that when I have a salary, 10% should go to the church. It's my responsibility as a Christian to do as such. I don't have to be pushed by Muruti, or I don't have to if I don't truthfully declare, it's me who's cheating myself. Hey, and again, you mentioned tax avoidance. I always tell people that if you need to, it's better to have someone that advises you on your taxes. If you feel that you are paying too much, or if you feel that there are other ways that you can reduce your taxes, consult someone that can sit you down and show you ways, operational ways, legal operational ways that you can navigate across to at least reduce your tax liability, than to not pay at all and just say, no, I can't pay tax, or just declare nils when even though you made money. So it's best, like I said, to truthfully declare with advice from someone who can tell you, okay, this is legal and this is illegal. This is what you can do, and this is what you can't do. So that's now calls for you to engage someone if you feel that really my money is being put to waste, or I'm paying more. Because I have some of the clients that would come to me and say, I think I'm paying more. And then when you look at that book, you find, hey, literally, you have been paying more. You are paying things that you are not supposed to be paying for. You find that someone's not declaring their capital allowances. They have something that they could be, the expenses that they could be deducting, but they're not deducting them. So you find that, yes, you are paying more, but because you do consult someone who could be helping you actually save, then another person will be like, no, because I paid this government, the people in power are corrupt, I'm not paying. No, that's not the way to go about it. Yes.
Thank you so much, Victor. You know why I laughed when you mentioned tithes?
Yes.
You just got me thinking that I know that, you know, in Botswana, almost everybody goes to church, people believe in God. It may not be everybody who pays tithes, but we have quite a lot of people who pay tithes and they feel that it's an obligation to contribute to the church.
Yes.
Right? Some don't even give tithes.
Yes.
I know some have a problem with tithes, but there are others who give much more than 10% because they understand that they want their buildings to be built, they want the upkeep of the church and stuff like that. They do that, but when it comes to paying their tax, they feel that no, that one is a waste of money. And the interesting thing is they tempted Jesus. Now, we are now talking to those who believe in Jesus, right? We are allowed, isn't it? Now, yeah. So, because he's the King of Kings. So, Jesus himself was tempted. They came to him and they say, Master, is it okay to pay tax to Caesar? And he said, bring a coin to me. They brought a coin. Now, obviously, the coin will be having the picture of Caesar there. And he said, whose picture is this? They say it's Caesar's picture. Then Jesus said, pay unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God.
Yes.
And then they wanted to make sure that Jesus is being honest with himself. They tempted him again. They say, hey, you are not paying tax. You, Master Jesus, you Muruti. Hey, how go you tax?
Yes. So
and Jesus had to pay tax.
Yes.
So if we are true followers of Jesus, we must pay tax without excuses.
We must pay tax.
And then another thing I wanted to say is this. Ignorance is very dangerous. Sometimes we think we are saving. You see, you were mentioning earlier that somebody will say, oh, that is, they come to Boago and they say, Kana Rawe, and then Boago sees that this person has been paying much more than they were supposed to pay. The money that you pay or you lose can be, or the trouble that you get into can be much more than if you had said, Boago, come and help me.
Exactly.
Boago is going to charge you, but you will save more. I think that's what we want our entrepreneurs out there to know. It's important for us to pay our taxes. And when we don't understand something, it's okay to consult an expert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're touching a very important point. Because like you are saying, you find that someone will say, okay, and you also believe in DIY. Eh? You believe in DIY so much that you will say, no, I'm the entrepreneur. I know my business better, so I'll do what needs to be done. I'll go to POS myself. In fact, yes, you go to POS for yourself. Spend the whole day queuing up there, and then you declare. These revenue authorities, what they do when you give them more money, they won't reject it. But then when you give them, when they think that you're giving them less, that's what they come for you. So like you're saying, you just save yourself a lot of trouble by engaging someone who's trusted again. Because there are some people who come to me crying that I engaged someone. That's someone. I don't know where they are. They have cheated me. Because we have like people that are roaming around saying like they can consult, without expertise, and then they charge you very little amount of money, and then they submit for you. But you find that these people really they don't do according to how it's supposed to be. They just take shortcuts so that you can just file. A lot of people, especially in Botswana, but a lot of these people that are doing tenders. So the person will be wanting to do tax clearance. So they will say, okay, no, whoever they find you, just give me your they give the forms, the people will just file new, they submit, get a tax clearance. That's a very dangerous thing to do, because when it catch up with you, they will go back to dating back to the time that you have been winning these tenders. If other people are winning tenders of millions and they are declaring false returns to the revenue authority, and then when they catch you, you'll be left with nothing. So it's best to actually have a someone who's certified, someone who's approved and trusted. They'll save you a lot of trouble. Even you will sleep peacefully, knowing that this person at least they did a good job, and I can take them to BURS and say, no, this person one that came, the one that helped me. So we are actually fighting to have a body equivalent to BICA that can people that are approved tax practitioners to help mitigate this issue of people swindling money from taxpayers, trying to bypass the system, because it's very dangerous, not only to them but also to the government, because the government is losing a lot of money, which could be coming to them and helping to develop the country. So it's very painful, Dr. Mutoko, like you mentioned.
Thank you so much. You know why I had to mention that I am a member of BICA. I just wanted to let somebody understand that you could be highly educated, you could even be having a title, and you know what you're doing. But if you are not a practitioner who is doing tax on a daily basis, you are not an expert in that area. So you find that, yes, I'm an accountant, but I'm not practicing accounts.
Yes.
I'm into executive coaching, I'm into leadership consultancy, strategy consultancy, and these other things. So I'm not practicing as an accountant. I cannot compare myself. It's only, for lack of a better word, it's foolishness for me now to start thinking that, I know everything that I'm doing. Let me give you one example that caused me to learn to look for an expert for tax. I went to BURS and I was paying tax. Very good calculations since I know accounting, right? I calculated nicely everything. I got there, and then what we normally do. People who are not experts, we get there. We ask the security officer. Which form should I fill in? Should I fill in the blue one or the yellow one or the pink one? And we feel very important when we are asking the security officer. And the security officer is just a human being like us. Honestly, he's a security or she's a security officer. They are not a tax expert, for Christ's sake. So I did that also. And then you get to the cashiers where you are submitting. They are cashiers. It doesn't mean everybody working at BURS is a tax expert.
Exactly. True.
But because you want to save some money. You get there, maybe you are told this form you filled in, are you doing, they start asking you the language, and then you begin to see that you are not as smart as you thought. And then what ended up happening is that I paid more tax than I was supposed to pay. Now, how did I know I paid more tax? When I saw that, there's always this, asking that, this form, I should have filled in blue, I should have filled it. Then I called this guy, this accountant, and I said, you know what? I know you understand these things. Can you assist me? He sat down with me, and I paid the money that I paid to him, and the money that I overpaid to BURS.
It
doesn't even make sense. So we want, and I'm saying this so that people know I'm not pretending like, I'm a guru, I understand tax. We are discussing it with the Boago today, we're just sharing notes. No, I know here and there I've made my mistakes, and I'm trying to avoid making the same mistakes by using experts. And that's why we want a person like you to explain to the people so that they can come out of this. Imagine like the people you were talking about who have been winning tenders. Some is not tenders, maybe you're just making money somehow, and you are not declaring that money. Can you imagine? It could happen when you are 60, when you are thinking it's time to retire and enjoy myself. Then BURS will investigate you and find that everything you have must go under the radar. Not only that, everything you have is not enough to pay the estimated amount Because you don't want, you know, BURS to, people now end up thinking BURS is bad. BURS is not bad.
Yes.
They're
No, it's not. Yes.
And now they will be estimating because there is no other way. They can't trust you. You have not been declaring for the past 12 years, for the past 10 years, for the past, who only God knows how many years, how many decades you have been cheating on the government and the country. Now they have to estimate. And their estimates, hey, you know what? I hope everybody is getting the message very clearly. Let's help one another to make sure we do the right thing. Paying an expert to help you, it's not as bad as getting into serious trouble.
True.
Now, there is online submissions, Boago.
Yes.
I know that BURS has introduced Liketo. And I know that quite a number of people have been, you know, saying it's not working or something like that. I don't know. What is the difference between this new system and the old online system that was there? And what can you say to our participants? By the way, to our participants, we are so grateful you are here. Please feel free to ask questions. Feel free to, you know, send in comments and stuff like that. I know we have Tumelo Ranau. Tumelo, we are going to bring you on the show on your own day, so don't worry. But if you still feel like you have some things that you want to contribute, feel free. And everybody who is here, guys, we really appreciate you. We are honored to have you. Imagine, we could have just been talking, the two of us, but here you are, you know, so feel free to ask questions, to comment, and things like that. Boago, over to you. I'm expecting some chats. You can send me a chat, guys. The participants, just send a chat, and then I will read it for Boago.
The question that asked me should be answered by Tumelo.
Okay. All right. So you want
because the BRS system is very they introduced a new system from the whole one that has been there, but it was supposed to launch. I think it was last month, but it didn't go through. It didn't launch. So currently the systems are down. The online systems are down. But
I've seen that.
I think Tumelo might have a better understanding of the new Lekgetho live system. But what I know is that now they have changed your TIN number. That used to be your TIN number. It's now been changed now to be your Oman number for the citizens. And I think for non-residents it will be the permits number or something like that. That is resident or permits. And then for companies that are using the SIPA company number, this new one, this new BW with zeros and that, So now they've tried to integrate the SIPA system with the BURS system and also with the Oman system, try and have, you know, more a seamless system that will be able to feed each other with information. So I think that's what that can be a contribution to this thing. I don't know much about it because really we haven't really had a chance to interact with it because it really didn't launch like it was expected. But currently we are having troubles because we can't access online. The only thing that's been done online now would be the wage subsidy. The claims are the ones that are only done as of now. Maybe like I say, maybe we can answer a bit better than I just did.
Thank you so much, Boago. I think for expatriates, if I read well, there is somewhere where they were saying for citizens they were using your Oman number. For expatriates, the system will generate a particular number for the expatriate.
Yes.
I can see Tumelo has sent us something here. Let me go there. You have said the main points about the system, ease of doing business in summary. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tumelo. Thank you very much. All right. So I think we have really touched on the importance of people paying tax, and now we have looked at Liketo. We were going to touch on why firms need a tax advisor, but I think we have already touched on that, but feel free if you still feel that they should. And remember, you mentioned that there are quite a number of consultants around, eh? There are a lot of consultants who just heard something about tax and they start running with it without enough information. So we need to be careful who is advising who.
Exactly. We need to be, like you are saying, we need to be very careful of people that, because a lot of times people come to me, I get a lot of guys come to me crying. Of all my clients, there are only a few who came to me happy. A lot of them come crying because they've been cheated by someone whom they saw at BURS or someone who they saw wherever, and they claim that they will do taxes for them, but then when they do things wrongly. So like I said, it's very important to actually do a background check of whenever you appoint a tax advisor before you really appoint them. And again, you need to really, even you as a taxpayer, really understand your obligations. Sit down with the person that advises you. Ask them questions. They should give you, as a tax advisor, you should at least show your client that obligation. They should know. Teach them. Don't actually say, "No, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you," and then you do it for them without them knowing what you are doing. So transparency is one of the key things that I share with my clients, so that they know what they're dealing with, so that when a tax bill comes, they know, they expect, okay, this is what I'm expecting to come. If I have cattle, I need to know what the standard rate is. Such things. I try to sit down with my clients when I'm doing their plans. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is how much you should pay, so that they really understand the important thing that we as tax advisors should do is to really educate people. That's the most important thing, because Botswana really is a huge knowledge deficit in taxes, and one of my mandates is really to close that gap. I need more platforms like this to really actually train and give out information and knowledge about taxes, and in a more simplified manner that people really understand and be able to digest it. Because taxes can be very technical, eh? It can be very technical, right. Even for accountants, even for accountants, people who are I've got clients who are accountants. I've got big firms that have accountants who are my clients. So you see that someone will no, we are dealing with accounting. You can do the tax. So you need someone who is really well versed in tax. Someone who, because again, even tax law changes now and then. So someone who is updated. Because you'll be doing something, calculating your taxes, tax rates with the old law, and then you submit. And then the law was changed 2 weeks back. So you need someone who's always abreast with the changes and the things that are going with regards to taxes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We are going towards the end of the interview, and I would like to ask once again our participants to ask any questions or to add on to whatever we are discussing, because in the next few minutes we'll be finishing the interview. I don't know, Boago, are there other things that you would want people to know apart from what we have already discussed?
I can't think of anything now relevant to what we are discussing today. Yeah, I can't think of anything now relevant to what we are discussing today. But I think just to stress on the issue of compliance, because that's for one that's really a concern for me. Because you find that people register for taxes without knowing their obligations, without knowing what they're getting themselves into. There's the new law that just been passed. I think two weeks back on the fact that now you can start your business, start restarting, and then you register at a later stage. I think it's a good development. A good development in the fact that people will be able to now know before they get themselves into, because you've had someone raise of taxes expecting business or expecting a tender, whatever, just to get a tax clearance, right? And then they're trained. They don't train the whole year or over 2 years. And then they don't submit returns because, like I said, they don't understand the obligations. And then with VAT, penalties are 50 pula per day, late submission, 50 pula per day. And then when you come after a year to renew a tax clearance, you find out you have a bill of 60K, 60,000 worth of VAT penalties from VAT only. And then you wonder, but I've not been trading. And then the answer will be, yes, you've not been trading, but you have then been submitting your taxes. And if you don't submit your returns, you get tax penalties. So I urge everyone that when they start businesses, they need to do a research on all the laws affecting them, not only taxes, all the laws affecting them. If you are into education, go to BQA, go to wherever, seek advice, go to the council, seek advice on things or the laws that are applicable to what you are doing. And then taxes affect everyone. Even go to BRS, ask them, I'm starting a company. What do I need to do? What taxes affect me? Don't just, because the form is very easy. Just tick the if you want the space and if you want that VAT, just tick it. There's no question here that you feel. So it's easy to tick, but that tick actually comes with obligations. So you find that you tick pay as you earn, you tick withholding, you tick everything. And then after some time, you find a bill coming to you because you just ticked without knowing what you are ticking for. So like we can't stress enough the importance of knowledge and the importance of compliance and the importance of seeking advice where need be. So I just wanted to stress that because I couldn't think of anything that I can say beyond that.
Thank you so much. And talking about knowledge, we are becoming a knowledge economy. We cannot afford to be ignorant.
Yes.
Yeah, we cannot afford to be ignorant. It's time that we know things. And for example, I was just thinking as you were talking that the income tax that companies pay for manufacturing sector is not the same as other sectors. You see, so if you think you know and you don't want to consult the experts, you will find yourself paying much more than you are supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Awesome stuff.
Because like I say, the BRS wouldn't know that we actually in manufacturing. Because I get our names, you find that my company name is called GreatAnt. But I'm manufacturing sofas. And then there'll be another GreatAnt which is into consultancy. So BRS wouldn't know unless you state that you're in manufacturing, and then they will know that now you are doing 50%. So it's very important, like we are saying, to know and to declare that you should declare.
Thank you so much. So we don't want, look, we have taken this time, Boago, not only you and me, but Tamelo, Sepiso, and Tumelo. We have taken our time here to talk about these things so that we educate the business leaders and the small, medium, and micro enterprises. That it's important for you to pay your taxes and don't put yourself in unnecessary troubles. We don't want to hear that you are now in trouble when we have recorded this video for you. Thank you so much, Boago, for coming. Now, some people will definitely want to contact you. How do they contact you?
Yes, our line will be 73 999 311. That's our line that you can reach us at. And then we've got our Facebook page, GreatAnt. We've got Text 360 and the text platform. I'm in 3 platforms: the GreatAnt, Text 360, and the text platform. That's where you can reach me on media platforms. And then, or you can just send an email to Ratshoswane, which is my surname, at gmail.com. Ratshoswane@gmail.com. So that will be my and you can have a chat if you need to book an appointment to know more about taxes or just to consult. We'll be glad to help you, because this is the month, this is the year end of taxes. June is the year end, because our year runs from July to June. So by the end of June, people will be expected to now compile that. By September, individuals should have filed. So we need people should call us if they need that service. Will be glad to help them. Even corporates, we do welcome corporates to actually do the tax planning for them, to really, if they think they pay more, we can help them to pay less. But only in the confinement of the law. We can go beyond the law, not over the law.
Thank you so much, Boago, and thank you so much, everybody that came around. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye-bye.